Okay everyone, welcome back. We're on chapter 6 and it's called The First Two Finders. Now at the end of this I've got a little bit of a quiz, so make sure that you are listening so that you can get the quiz questions right. Okay? So chapter 6, The First Two Finders. The very next day the first golden ticket was found. The finder was a boy called Augustus Gloop, and Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a large picture of him on the front page. The picture showed a 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat he looked as though he had been blown up with a powerful pump. Great flabby folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough with two small greedy currant eyes peering out upon the world. The town in which Augustus Gloop lived, the newspaper said, he had gone wild with excitement over their hero. Flags were flying from all the windows, children had been given a holiday from school, and a parade was being organised in honour of his famous youth. I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket, his mother had told the newspaper men. He ate so many bars of chocolate a day that it was almost impossible for him not to find one. Eating is his hobby, you know. That's all he's interested in. Better still, that's better than being a hooligan and shooting off zip guns and things like that in his spare time, isn't it? And what I always say is he wouldn't go on eating like he does unless he needed nourishment, would he? It's all vitamins anyway. What a thrill it would be for him to visit Mr. Wonka's marvellous factory. We're just as proud as anything. What a revolting woman, said Grandma Josephine. And what a repulsive boy, said Grandma Georgina. Only 4 tickets left, said Grandpa George. I wonder who'll get those. And now the whole country, indeed the whole world, seemed suddenly to be caught up in a mad chocolate-buying spree. Everybody searching frantically for those precious remaining tickets. Fully grown women who were seen going into sweet shops and buying 10 Wonka bars at a time, then tearing off the wrappers on the spot and peering eagerly underneath for a glint of gold paper. Children were taking hammers and smashing their piggy banks and running out to the shops with handfuls of money. In one city, a famous gangster robbed a bank of £1,000 and spent the whole lot on Wonka bars the same afternoon. And when the police entered the house to arrest him, they found him sitting on the floor amidst a mountain of chocolate, ripping off the wrappers with the blade of a long dagger. In far-off Russia, a woman called Charlotte Roos claimed to have found the second ticket, but it turned out to be a clever fake. The famous English scientist Professor Foulbody invented a machine which would tell you at once, without opening the wrapper of a bar of chocolate, whether or not there was a golden ticket hidden underneath. The machine had a mechanical arm that shot out with tremendous force and grabbed hold of anything that had the slightest bit of gold inside it. And for a moment it looked like it was the answer to everything. But unfortunately, while the professor was showing off the machine to the public at the sweet counter of a large department store, the mechanical arm shot out and made a grab for the gold filling in the back tooth of the Duchess, who was standing nearby. There was an ugly scene, and the machine was smashed by the crowd. Suddenly, on the day before Charlie Bucket's birthday, the newspapers announced that their second golden ticket had been found. The lucky person was a small girl called Veruca Salt, who lived with her rich parents in a great city far away. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a picture of the finder. She was sitting between her father and mother in the living room of their house, waving the golden ticket above her head and grinning from ear to ear. Veruca's father, Mr. Salt, had eagerly explained to the newspaper men exactly how the ticket was found. "You see, boys," he said, "as soon as my little girl told me that she simply had to have one of those golden tickets, I went out into town and started buying up all the Wonka bars I could lay my hands on. Thousands of them. I must have bought hundreds of thousands. Then I had them loaded onto trucks and sent directly to my factory. I'm in the peanut business, you see, and I've got about 100 women working for me all over at my place, shelling peanuts for roasting and salting. That's what they do all day long. Those women, they sit there shelling peanuts. So I say to them, OK, girls, from now on you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off those chocolate bars instead. And they did. I had every worker in the place yanking the paper off those bars and chocolate full speed ahead from morning till night. But 3 days went by, and we had no luck. Oh, it was terrible. My little Veruca got more and more upset each day, and every time I went home she would scream at me, "Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket!" And she would lie for hours on the floor, kicking and yelling in the most disturbing way. Well, I just hated to see my little girl feeling unhappy like that, so I vowed I would keep up the search until I got her what she wanted. Then suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of the women workers yelled, "I've got it! A golden ticket!" And I said, "Give it to me quick!" And she did. I rushed it home and gave it to my darling Veruca, and now she's all smiles, and we have a happy home once again. "That's even worse than the fat boy," said Grandma Josephine. "She needs a really good spanking," said Grandma Josephine. "She needs a really good spanking," said Grandma Georgina. "I don't think the little girl's father played it quite fair, Grandpa, do you?" Charlie murmured. "He spoiled her," Grandpa Joe said, "and no good can ever come from spoiling a child like that. Charlie, you mark my words." "Come to bed, darling," said Charlie's mum. "Tomorrow's your birthday. Don't forget that. So I expect you'll be up early to open your present." "A Wonka chocolate bar," said Charlie. "It is a Wonka bar, isn't it?" "Yes, my love," his mother said. "Of course it is." "Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I found the 3rd golden ticket inside?" Charlie said. "Bring it in here when you get it," Grandpa Joe said. "Then we can all watch you taking off the wrapper." Right, so that's the end of chapter 6. Now, were you listening? Because I've got a quiz, so get pen and paper, and off we go. So I'll do the question, I'll say the answers, and I'll stop for a little bit, and then I'll give you the answer to that question. Okay? So the first question: when was the first golden ticket found? Was it the next week, the next weekend, the very next afternoon, or the very next day? When was the first golden ticket found? Was it A, the next day, B, the next weekend, C, the very next day, the very next afternoon, or D, the very next day? It was D, the very next day. Number 2. What was the child's name that found the first ticket? Was it A, Augustus Gloop? Was it B, Veruca Salt? Was it C, Violet Brigade? Or D, Mike TV? So number 2, what was the name of the child who found the first ticket? Was it Augustus Gloop, Veruca Salt, C, Violet Brigade, or D, Mike TV? Of course, it was the fatty, wasn't it? Augustus Gloop. Right. Question 3, how old was he? Was he A, 8 years old? Was he B, 7 years old? Was he C, 10 years old? Or was he D, 9 years old? Question 3 again. How old was he? Was he 8 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, or 9 years old? That's right. He was 9 years old. It was D. Well done. Right. Question 4. Which words are used in the book to describe Augustus Gloop? Is it A, like a pig, B, like a monstrous ball of dough, C, enormously fat, or D, like a balloon? Now I'll give you a clue for this one. There are 2 answers. Okay. Like a pig, face like a monstrous ball of dough, enormously fat and like a balloon. So which two? It was B and C. Face like a monstrous ball of dough and enormously fat. Well done. Okay, question 5. What did his mum say was his hobby? Was it A, cooking? Was it B, buying chocolate? Was it C, eating? Or was it D, baking? So what did his mum say was his hobby? Cooking, buying chocolate, eating or baking? Well, if he's enormously fat, it's definitely going to be C with eating, isn't it? Yes, you are right. Okay, number 6. When was ticket 2 found? Was it the day before Charlie's birthday? Was it on the 2nd day? Was it the day after Charlie's birthday? Or was it on the 4th day? So when was ticket 2 found? The day before Charlie's birthday, on the 2nd day, the day after Charlie's birthday, or on the 4th day? Okay, the answer was A, the day before Charlie's birthday. Well done. Okay, number 7. What was the finder called? Was it A, Augustus Gloop? Was it B, Veruca Salt? Was it C, Violet Regard? Or D, Mike TV? What was the second finder called? Augustus Gloop, Veruca Salt, Violet Regard, or Mike TV? Of course, it was the little bratty girl, Veruca Salt, that always gets what she wants. Number 8. What is her father's factory usually? So what does he normally do in his factory? Does he work with hazelnuts, walnuts, cashew nuts, or peanuts? So A, hazelnuts, B, walnuts, C, cashew nuts, or D, peanuts? It's D, peanuts. And her name is Veruca Salt. How ironic. Number 9. They were opening Wonka bars for how long until they found the ticket? Was it A, a week? Was it B, 3 days? Was it C, 3 and a bit days? Or was it 4 days? So how long were they opening bars before they found it? Was it A, a week, B, 3 days, C, 3 and a bit days, or D, 4 days? It was 4 days. It was on the evening of the 4th day. So that's your quiz for today. I'll do another quiz tomorrow for chapter 7, possibly 7 and 8. Not quite sure yet, but I'll see you tomorrow.